Bro, these numbers look good.
I've been trying to tell you this entire time.
But I can't seem to find anything on this Pete Fisher dude.
Here you go. Now you can't see. You got glasses. What you got the glasses for, man?
Come on.
Right here,
Don't
right
you
here,
come
right here,
on,
right
man.
here, right here, right here.
No,
Focus.
that is not him.
Look, man. Use your glasses. They not windshield wipers,
Scroll
man.
down,
Use
scroll down,
your
right
glasses.
here. Right here. It's right here.
Him?
Him what? Say it. I want you to say it.
Right here.
No, that's not the same Pete Fisher.
Not that
Jesus
Pete
Christ.
Fisher.
Bro,
That's him.
I just don't know about this.
Listen to me. How in the world y'all gonna have beards on your face and be scary? Look, give me your beard so I can put it on mine. I wish mine can grow.
Mama ran daddy in the ground.
No, don't say that.
JJ,
Don't say that.
we inherited this.
JJ.
We can get rid of it. Listen, we got to.
He don't want to be no ball.
We got to.
He don't want to be no ball.
I got you. Everything is good.
JJ.
James, I was about to call you Kunta, but since Dad died, Mom's been treating you like Toby.
He used to get a lot of whoopings
like
back in the day.
Yes, Toby like
That was
Toby.
good. Give me some. Give me some.
Listen, we in this together. We have to sit. Listen, tell this man.
I'm trying to tell him.
I brought him here for a reason.
Oh, I'm big ball and shot counter. Look at my chain.
Where you coming from?
Bling, bling. You see where I'm coming from. You don't
I
get
do
this in
see
this
it.
country.
I see it.
Yeah, and keep it holy. You see the cross.
Right.
Yeah, I got Jesus
I
too.
got you. I got you.
I'm
JJ,
just
listen.
saying.
God has to have something better in store for us.
And he does. Listen, I've took the liberty
You can't say
talking to my boy. He set up the meeting with Pete already.
It's done.
That's done.
Do you want to be
So
a
you'll
millionaire?
meet Pete Fisher then.
All right?
Do you want to be a tree?
I'm gonna call Mama.
All right.
Tell Mama.
And you gonna talk to her?
Calling mom.
No. I'm gonna call Mama. We're gonna have a meeting.
Okay.
You're gonna tell
All right.
her.
All right.
All right?
Okay.
right.
I'm in.
Look.
I'm in.
Look,
Got it.
Mama can't give you no more breast milk, okay?
Man,
the milk
listen.
gone. The milk gone.
don't
Dust
want
in there.
no-
It's dust.
I gotta call my mama.
Poof. Nothing. Gone.
I'm checking these numbers.
You ain't checking nothing. You need to check your booty cheeks out of here. That's what you need to do.
We can take an Uber for all I care, because I don't want to drive. So as long as you drive and we good. Okay, that sounds like a plan. But now we just got to figure out what we're going to wear. We can't be dressed. No.
How you doing, man?
That works. I'll call you later.
Hello, excuse me?
We can talk about it later.
Excuse me, ma'am. Excuse me? Excuse me, ma'am.
Okay.
Ma'am, excuse me. I'm here for an interview.
Have a seat.
No, ma'am, I want to...
Take the magazine. Have a seat.
No, ma'am, I'm here for an interview, if you don't mind. Thank
Did you need another one?
Wow. Unbelievable.
Okay, who's next?
Yes, ma'am, I am. Hi, my name is Andy. I'm here for an interview in your AR department. I sent you my resume, my reference a little while ago. I've got so much knowledge, so much background in this area. My name is Andy Fisher.
Yes, Andy. Yes, I
you.
received all your information.
Yes,
I've
ma'am.
reviewed your file.
Thank you.
I have reached out to your references. They checked out.
Good.
You know, I was going to call you today.
Okay.
You are hired.
What?
You'll be working in my department.
Oh, sorry. I'm so excited.
Hold on 1 second.
Yes,
Let me
ma'am.
get your file from the office.
Absolutely.
I'm taking you directly to the conference room.
Thank you so much. Man, good Lord. I didn't know she had all that. That's a bad mamma jamma right there. I'm going to get a new wife and a new life all in 19. That's a bad mama right there. Good googly moogly. Man.
You know, we've been waiting on you to get here.
Okay.
You can start immediately.
I'm ready. Yes, I'm
But
ready.
I do have a question. Do you know of anyone who may be interested in a position at our company? I mean, with your approval, they can start immediately.
You know what? I was just talking to my brother Pete. I think he'd be an amazing fit here. I think I taught him everything he knows. I think he'd be amazing. I think he'll work.
Well, how about this? You get Pete on the line.
Okay.
We'll be in training.
Okay.
But we'll get HR to take good care of him, and we'll get started.
Absolutely.
So make that call and let's get to work.
Thank you so
Welcome
much.
aboard, Andy.
Man, thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. Pete, listen, man, I got something to tell you. Wow. I got something to tell you, man. Amazing. Wow. Pete, hello, you there?
Why are you two fools pulling me away from my spa day? Now you know I need my me time, but you got me over here spending it with you two fools. So why am I here with you two?
Yes, ma'am. Your mama.
Huh? Huh? What? Don't be talking under your breath. Move, boy. You see me coming through. Now, again, why am I here?
I don't know how to say this.
You better say something.
We can't work for this company anymore.
There you go. Thank you.
This fool. So, what you're telling me is that you two want to sell a company that your father and I put our blood, our sweat, and our tears in so you can invest in a recording company? Is that what I'm hearing?
Oh, man.
I know it better not be what I'm hearing, but tell me, is that what I'm hearing?
Mama, you know how I feel.
You touch me, you better not.
Mama, you know how I feel. I can't keep living my life to make other people happy.
Boy,
I appreciate all that
you better get your hands off me.
I appreciate all that you and Daddy have done for us, but
Obviously.
I've got to live for me.
Mom. JJ is right.
Is he?
Now I didn't see it, but when he was saying it the other, you know, when you said it the other day,
Get it out!
we gotta have our own happiness. I mean, this was you and Daddy's dream. Now, this was you and Daddy's dream.
Ain't nobody worried about your dream, anybody else's dream. Because this dream paid for y'all to be in this house. Now, you know what this is? This right here is a family. We started in the projects. Okay, we had hand-me-down clothes, laughed at every single... Boy, I will rip that jacket off of you.
Mama, it's not about you. We're not trying to hurt you.
Mom, we love you. We go take care of you. Don't worry about that. We gonna take care of you.
This how you show love? Is it? And you can answer that question. Is it this how you show love? You have something that is solid.
Mom, we listen.
I'm listening.
Mom, listen. We're gonna sell the company. We're gonna be principal investors, right? And we still have ownership. It's good. That's a good plan.
That's not a good plan. Y'all don't get it. Stupid is as stupid does. You're not seeing it. No, why can't the owner have an office and you have an office to the left, you have an office to the right? Wouldn't that make more sense? I don't want my family and my friends to have to see my children struggle the way I struggle. Unbutton your coat. I've been down that road before. I'm not climbing that mountain again. But you know what? If that's what y'all want to do, climb it. And I'm going to climb right over
But
you.
Mama,
Move. I cannot believe this.
You better get it right while you here. Voices all up in my head. Whispers all up in my ears. Traces on how my life's led. You better get it right while you here.
Yo, man, you like that, right? You like that? It's good, right? It's good, right?
Like what?
The track. My artist, he's flowing. Look at that.
Are you serious?
I'm really serious, man. He did his best. Yes.
Are you serious?
I am.
You can't be serious. Nah, bro, I don't need the best. I need the absolute best. You feel me? Bro, do you know who I am? Do you know who I am?
Yes, I know.
What's my name?
Pete.
Pete. Vice President. You got that?
I got it.
You know how many mountains I had to climb to get where I am, huh?
Tell me all the time. Yes.
And I'm not about to let you or him drag me back down. You like your job?
I love my job.
Do you like your job?
I love my job.
Okay. Well, go do your job. Find me a suitable artist so we can make some money. Okay?
All right.
Why are you still standing there? Get the letter out, partner. I Hey, clowns coming in here with this man.
Hey, bro.
What's up, bro?
What's going on?
What's going on?
All right, have a seat. We need to talk.
Okay.
For the life of me, I cannot understand. I brought you into this company. I brought you here, and now you're VP and everything. You're talking about mountains and stuff you got to climb. I brought you here. And worse than that, you talking to people like mama ain't never taught you nothing. You need to get yourself together. You are not going to mess this up for me. Chill out, okay?
Bruh. No offense, but you just work in AR.
Wow.
I work for the main man.
Wow.
All right. It's all good, though, baby. Look, I gotta let these people know that I'm not weak. See, all my life, you and mama thought I was weak.
Yeah.
Now, you gonna always be my big brother.
Yeah.
But you ain't gotta take care of me like that no more, man. I gotta let these folks know that I'm not scared of anyone or anything.
Really?
So look at here, man. I'm like Lil Duval. I'm just living my best life.
Well, from your big brother, I'm going back and forth with you all day, every day. You understand? What you not gonna do is mess this up for me. Are you clear?
Bruh, I'm not gonna forget about you. We all got places that we gonna be. We all gotta take this journey. Matter of fact, I think that was them now. I got a flight that I gotta take with the prez and the main investors.
Okay.
It leaves in about 2 hours, so I will holler at you when I get back, all right?
Well, what? Well, I tell you what, you have a nice trip, partner. I'll see you when you get back. What? I don't know why this always happens to me. I don't know how I always get caught with the short end of the stick. I come in early, I leave late. I bring them hot dogs and chips and coffee and donuts and stuff. And my brother Pete gets put in the front of the line. He gets promoted before me. I'm sick of it and I'm tired. But you know, I thought about it. This might be my journey. This might be my mountain to climb.
All that action about who are those people? What's all the commotion? I'm going to narrate what you just saw. The theme here is having a mountain to climb. You saw several characters on the movie, and I want to talk about them because whether you know it or not, most of us can identify with these characters that we just saw. The first one I want to talk about, his name is Andrew. It is amazing that Andrew is believed to be the firstborn of his father and his mother. He came out of the womb, he was so strong, so alert, so vibrant. They gave him the name Andrew because Andrew meant brave, manly, strong. As soon as his mother saw him and saw his grip, saw his eyes, she said, this is going to be a strong, brave, manly baby. Because they wanted to speak destiny to his life, so they named him Andrew, because Andrew meant strong, manly, and brave. Well, a little later, those parents have another child, and evidently this child was sickly. Maybe this child gave the mother difficulty all prenatally. Maybe this child had some type of abnormality, some type of deficiency. So when this child came out, they named him Simon. It's amazing. They named him Simon because Simon meant pebble. It meant weak. It meant flaky. It meant unstable. So you have two boys, two brothers. One, Andrew, Andy, strong, manly, brave. Simon, who they later named Pete, they named him Pete, meaning rock, because they wanted to give him a new name because his entire life has been lived very weak, very flaky. As a matter of fact, as boys growing up, Andrew always had to look out for Simon. When they played ball, Andrew had to fight for Simon. When they went to Boy Scouts, Andrew had to fight for Simon. Simon, who becomes Pete later on, even though he's named Pete, nicknamed Pete, renamed Pete, in actuality, his name changed, but his character didn't. He was always still Simon. And the challenge here is that although he is Simon, who's nicknamed Pete, the trouble is he wants to show people that he's not Simon. And so he overcompensates because he does not want them to think he is as weak as he's appeared his entire life. So what does he do? He's flippant with his mouth. What does he do? He's real quick to cuss people out. He's real quick to talk junk, to pull a knife or a switchblade. Why? Because inside of him was weakness. But he wants to cover up that weakness with these facades to show that he's strong and mighty. But in actuality, underneath the surface, he's just weak, flaky, and pebble. You know, the truth is, if you're not careful, it's possible for all of us to have that same Simon Peter spirit. But in actuality, because you don't like yourself internally, that it's possible to cover up on the external because you really want people to see the weakness and the emotional instability that's on the inside, because you want people to like you. If you're not careful, sometimes you'll spend money that you don't have to impress people who don't even like you and who are going to talk about you regardless. Some of you can identify with Pete tonight. Perhaps there's a young lady in this house tonight. You can identify with Pete. She's in here. You know who she is? She is that young lady with the $1,500 Louis Vuitton purse, but nothing in it but old peppermint and lint. Because she's the one who wants to show externally strength, but on the inside, there's nothing but weakness and dislike and insecurity. And sometimes pride and arrogance, sometimes conceit, really is nothing but mask insecurities. Because if you're not careful, if we're not careful in life, sometimes that Peter syndrome can follow you your entire life. And as a result, what we end up doing is trying to show our entire lives to people that we are not what they say we were. Some of you have been to your 10 and 20-year class reunion, and you knew Pete when he showed up. You knew Simon when he showed up. He was the one that rented the Maserati just to show up to impress you at the class reunion. You know Simon, you know Pete. He is the 50-year-old guy that's still going to see the shoe models. You know the shoe models, those young ladies who are only modeling the shoes. He's a 50-year-old guy who has a wad of $20 bills, but nothing but $1 bills on the inside. Wants to appear bigger than what he really is, because he's never asked God to come in and to make him like himself. And so it's a problem, because Andy has always looked out for his brother Simon, Pete. He's always been the strong one, always been the one to recommend Simon Pete. You saw the movie. It was Andy who got the job first as the AR department. It was Andy who went for the interview at first. But then when the question was asked to Andy, do you know of anybody else? It was Andy who said immediately, yeah, I got somebody I can recommend. I taught him everything he knows. Let me call my brother Pete. You didn't recognize it at the time, but that's really a contemporary way of a biblical story. We saw it the first time in the book of John, John chapter 1, verse 41. Because one day, if you will, that guy Andrew, that guy Andy, was going on an interview, and the Bible says that he ran into a fellow by the name of Jesus Christ. And when Andrew met Jesus Christ, when that manly, brave Andrew met Jesus for the first time, do you know what Andy did? As soon as he finished talking to Jesus, he went and got that little brother Simon, that little brother Peter. And then he brought Simon and brought Peter to Jesus. And now Peter and Jesus have a relationship that's closer than the relationship that Andrew had with Simon. In Christianity, you hear a whole lot about Peter that preaches on Pentecost, about Peter who wrote 2 of the epistles in the New Testament. But the problem is, what happens when you have been flaky and weak your whole life, and your brother who is manly and brave, who's made the right decisions, who has looked out for you? And what happens when you've looked out for somebody, and the one that you looked out for ends up getting a better position than you, and you are the one who recommended them? Maybe tonight there's somebody who's wondering in this house tonight. Maybe there's a young lady who's wondering, how is it that I've been the bridesmaid in the wedding for the past 8 years, and I got 12 bridesmaids dresses in my closet, and I've decreed and I've declared that I will never ever again be a bridesmaid in another dress. As a matter of fact, some of you introduced somebody to somebody, and that somebody married somebody and left you by yourself, and the last time you were in that wedding, you came down holding your flowers, smiling, with a fake smile and talking on your teeth, saying stuff like I was prettier than she was, and I had better grades than she did, and why am I always being left out? Because it's possible to make all the right decisions and make the right choices and try to do the right thing, but it seems that sometimes in life, the people that try to do right by other people, the people that try to make the right decision, the people that try to be a good catch, it seems like everybody else climbs the ladder faster and higher than them. The people who've been given their tithes and coming to church and trying to be a quality human being, why does it seem that sometimes the more quality you try to give, the more trash you get back in return? And if you're not careful, it can make you ask the question, does it really make sense to try to do good by people? Because I've tried to do good by people, but the people I've done good by don't do good back by me. Why is it, Jesus, that Andrew meets you first and goes and gets Peter and brings his brother Simon to you, and yet you end up getting closer to Peter than the one who brought Peter to you? Sometimes life doesn't make sense. What happens when you show up early and leave late? Come to work before Mondays and Fridays, before and after holidays. Always do a decent day's work for a decent day's wage, but somehow you get passed over for the promotion. It'll make you wonder sometimes, why does it seem that good folk struggle and wicked folk prosper? You know, there was a time when you weren't in the club, when you were in the clubs and weren't in the church, when you were smoking weed and balling till you fell. It seemed like you didn't have any issues, any problems. But as soon as you came on God's side to connect with Jesus Christ, it seemed like all hell broke loose. And here it is, you love seeing other people get blessed. When you're like Andy, you don't mind seeing your brother blessed. You don't mind, you're not a hater, you're not jealous. You want to see people get closer to Jesus. But why is it that Pete gets invited to go on the trip? Why is it that Pete rides the corporate jet? Why is it that Pete gets the increase, gets the bonus, gets the promotion, and here you are still seemingly stuck at the bottom? Sometimes in life, brothers and sisters, that emotion is real. And maybe even tonight, some of you are wondering, does it make sense to even keep doing good? Because if I keep doing good, is this how God responds to me? If I keep doing good? And then you run into the other mother. You saw her with the shades. You saw her leaving her spa day. That's the mother, that's the wife of Zebedee. Her husband is now dead. She has two sons, JJ and James. We call them James and John. You see their story in Matthew chapter 20. We see her come on the scene. She's really unnamed. But in the movie, in the clip, you saw her talk about wanting one son to sit on the right hand, to have an office on the right hand of the CEO. And wanted her other son to have a seat on the left hand of the CEO. And you would think, brothers and sisters, that she really was concerned about her sons. But can I tell you something about that woman? Her activity had nothing to do with her sons. You got to look deep into the emotionalism of that woman, because she is emotionally unhealthy. Because she came from nothing. Because she was always mistreated coming up the rough side of the mountain. Because she had to eat beanie weenies and pork and beans and Vienna sausages. Somebody talk to me here. Because she had to eat fried bologna sandwiches with mustard and take the meat. Because she didn't have money, her family, to go to Kroger and Publix to buy a new bottle of ketchup. And so she put the ketchup bottle underneath the sink and put some water in it and close it and shake it up to get some remnants to put. I wish somebody talked to me. She didn't have a 70-inch TV with 400 channels. She had a 13-inch black and white with rabbit ears. And when it was raining outside, she gets some aluminum foil to put on the rabbit ears so she can get CBS, ABC, and NBC. I wish I had somebody who understood exactly what I was talking about. And so as a young lad growing up in the project, she made her mind up. It's not going to always be this way. So she tried to be fabulous and wonderful. She tried to present herself as being more than what she was. And she said to herself, I don't care what tomorrow holds. I don't care how he looks. I don't care if he's educated or not. I'm not going to marry nobody that ain't got no money. I've got a what have you done for me lately attitude. And so she went and found this dude named Zebedee, who came from money. And she was able to be seductive and sweet, and she got up close to him, and Zebedee asked for her hand in marriage. And oh, you must wonder how that made her feel when Zebedee asked for her hand in marriage. No more putting water in ketchup bottles, no more eating fried bologna sandwiches. So she traded bologna for caviar. She traded Lake Allatoona for St. Croix. She traded Spirit Airlines for first class in Delta. She made up in her mind that never again will I be on the bottom, because now her worth is found in Zebedee's bank account. Now her character, her integrity does not matter. She wants you to see the external, because in the inside she really hates what she sees. She's never healed from the days of being taken advantage of. And so now she has some boys, JJ and James and John. And now these boys want to leave their fishing business and now become fishers of men and travel with some field preacher from Galilee named Jesus the Christ. I got serious problem, fellas. Your dad is dead. Who's going to pay for my manicure? Who's going to pay for my pedicure? Who's going to buy me a new lace front? Who's going to buy me red bottoms and Spanx that can go from my ankles to my turtleneck? I need somebody to take care of me. Guess what? Because I need money. Because money means status. Money means I'm not going back to what I came from. So she has the nerve, the audacity, the unmitigated gall in Matthew chapter 20 to crawl herself up to Jesus Christ and say, Jesus, now listen, my boys have left the business their father left for them. It's put me in a precarious predicament. I don't want to go back to my EBT card days. So I got to ask you a question. If they're going to leave this business to come to your business, do me a favor. Can you let one of my sons sit on your right and the other sit on your left when you come into your kingdom? Forget all that other junk. I I worked too hard for this. I need to take a selfie with you and my boys so I can show my girls when we're praying bridge and drinking tea and playing bidwits and talk and spades. I need to show my boys, I need to show my friends on Facebook that my boys are part owners in this new kingdom enterprise. Why? Because I need to live vicariously through them to make me like myself. So now she puts all this pressure on the boys because she needs them to live up to her expectations, because she finds her sense of esteem. She has no life of her own. So she puts all this pressure on these boys because she needs them to live to a certain standard to give her a certain status in the community. And I'm wondering how many of you had parents like that. I'm wondering how many of us in this room have people who want us to live our lives for them, whether it makes you happy or not. That now if you don't live up to their expectations, they think you don't have worth and don't have value. And now her sons have lived their entire lives trying to please mama. If one made an A-, it wasn't good enough because the next door neighbor's child made an A+. If one scored 3 touchdowns, that wasn't enough because last week the next door neighbor's child scored 4 touchdowns. And here she is, she could make a C on the test, but she wants her children to live up to a certain standard, so she's overprotective. She's overzealous, and as a consequence, these boys have now been so smothered by an overprotective, overbearing mother that now they're not capable of being men for themselves. And how many perhaps young boys who are being raised right now trying to live their lives to make mama and daddy happy because mama and daddy want them to live up to their expectations. And so one boy is so docile, he's so passive, just like his daddy Zebedee, because the mama ran the house. The mama told Zeb to shut up, Zeb shut up. The mama told Zeb to jump, he jumped. The mama told Zeb what to do, and she's been so overbearing, had no respect for nobody in the house. And the dad has now succumbed to the mother's overbearing ways. And as a consequence, one of his sons has seen him become so passive and so docile. And now one boy acts just like his dad. The mama has run the daddy crazy, and now she's on the verge of running both boys crazy. One boy is just like his daddy, and as a consequence, the other boy is just like his mama. Because now he dresses in a red jacket. Now he has his beard and he has himself shaven. He talks a good game when mama ain't around. But as soon as mama comes in the room, he cowers and he defers to the weaker brother. Some of you looked at all this emotionalism tonight and you're wondering, what was all that about? Here's the hopeful things, that Jesus looks beyond Pete's ability to be unstable. That Jesus says, Andrew, I don't need you right now. Pete, come here. James, John, father's dead, mother's overbearing. I need y'all to come here, because I need you to come with me in Mark chapter 9. And we're going to climb up a mount called Mount Hebron. And we climb up this mountain, fellas, I'm going to be transfigured. I'm going to be changed, because I want you to get a revelation of who I am. Moses is going to show up, the lawgiver. Elijah is going to show up, the most eloquent of the Hebrew prophets. And I'm going to let you climb this mountain, not just to show you who I am, but in a real sense to let you see who you are. Here's why. Because Pete, James, John, guys, you have a mountain to climb. And it's necessary for you to climb this mountain, because if you don't climb this mountain, you'll never become what I need you to become. Well, wait a minute, Jesus, why do you invite Peter and not invite Andrew? Andrew is the one who brought Simon Peter to you. Why isn't he invited to climb the mountain? You saw his hurt. You saw his rejection. Jesus, do you leave Andrew out? Andrew never gets a book. Andrew never preaches on Pentecost. Andrew never goes in the Garden of Gethsemane. And without Andrew, we wouldn't know Peter. What about his mountain to climb? And Jesus told me to tell you, you missed it. Because just because you don't see Andrew being invited to climb this mountain, it does not mean that Andrew doesn't have to climb his own mountain. His mountain is to deal with the fact and to teach all of you a principle in 2019 that everybody won't be on the front pages, that everybody won't be the CEO, that everybody won't reach the headlines, that everybody won't be seen up front, that everybody won't get the microphone, that everybody won't be the lead in the play, everybody won't be the leading character. But just because you are not the leading character does not mean that your role or your mountain is any less significant than anybody else. See, here's the problem. We have now reduced significance to visibility. And if somebody is visible, that makes them special. But here's what you don't understand. Just because they are visible and have the front seat, you don't know what the cost is to sit in that front seat. And here's the other principle. Just because you're not visible does not mean you're not valuable. Just because your name is not called does not mean that God does not have a great plan and purpose for your life. So if your name is not called, if nobody invites you to be the CEO or the CFO or the COO or the CAO, if you're never in charge, the fact that God loved you enough to look beyond your faults and see your needs and give you somewhere to live and help you pay your bills is reason enough to give God praise. I may not have what everybody else has, but I'm thankful for the liberty I do have. I may never drive a Bentley, I may never drive a Rolls Royce, but I thank God for this 2012 Honda that's clean, that's working, that's got some armor on the tires. Too often we're not faithful over a few things because we're looking for big things, and that's your mountain. Can you be satisfied? Like Paul says, having food and raiment. I've learned how to be content. I don't have to be the best. I don't have to be wonderful. Don't invite me to the party. As long as God knows my name, as long as God sees my heart, as long as God sees my purpose, as long as God sees my efforts, if I'm faithful over a few things, here you are trying to emulate, and here you are trying to covet somebody who has a house on West Pacers Ferry, but you got an apartment with dishes in it from last 4th of July. Don't expect God to give you more if you're not faithful and appreciative over the little bit that you do have. Andrew, that's your mountain. Here's my point. Guess what? And the mama had a mountain to climb. As a matter of fact, the business was sold now because for the first time, it seems God is putting a mirror up in her face and say, I want you to look at you until you like you. I want you to look at you until you realize that you are enough. I don't care if people said you were the black sheep. I don't care what side of the track you grew up on. I don't care if your teacher said you weren't gonna make it. I don't care if they body shamed you. I don't care if you're the darkest one in your family. It does not matter if your hair is long, short. It does not matter if you're thin, slim, or big bone, or thick bone, or red bone, or midnight black, or pecan tan, or mellow yellow. God fearfully and wonderfully made you in his image, and when you understand that you and God are always more than the majority, you all give God praise that you're fearfully and wonderfully made, that God loved me enough. That's my mountain is to accept me. My mountain is to get over the insecurities. Your mountain is to look at yourself and say, God says I'm good enough. Pete, James, John, come on, let's climb the mountain. Andrew, you got your own mountain. Mama, you got your own mountain. Pete's mama, you got your own mountain. And guess what, family? In 2019, you have your own mountain. The mountain represents your journey. You have a journey. You have a process. Stop trying to abort the process. The only place where success comes before work is the dictionary. You got to walk this thing out to get where God wants you to be. And guess what? And when you climb that mount, I got to be honest with you, things sometimes will get rough. When you're climbing the mountain, things sometimes will get a little rocky. When you're climbing the mountain, friends and foes will turn their backs on you. When you climb the mountain, sometimes supplies aren't accessible. When you climb the mountain, sometimes people that you thought would be there for you will be the same ones that turn their backs on you. When you climb the mountain, sometimes it'll make you wonder, has God abandoned me as I was climbing the mountain? As you climb the mountain, sometimes it will make you wonder and make it feel like that God has left you there by yourself. And guess what? When you're climbing the mountain and things get rocky, that's not an indication that God has abandoned you. Sometimes the rocky places of the mountain are proof that you're on your way somewhere. Here's why: because the devil never attacks anybody who's not moving anywhere, who's not going anywhere. You got to understand this. You will never see a dog barking after a car that's still parked, because dogs don't chase or bark after parked cars. Look at a neighbor and say, neighbor, the reason why the enemy is barking at you is because you're going somewhere. Say, neighbor, the reason why the enemy is biting at your pants is because you're going somewhere. The reason why the enemy tried to get you to put a gun to your head or to slit your wrist is because you're going somewhere. Somebody can decree and declare that if it gets tough on this journey, I endure hardness as a good soldier. If it gets tough on this journey, it's not that I've come too far to turn around now, because God has not brought me this far to leave me. And maybe there's somebody in this house tonight who can testify that 2018 got rougher in your process, in your journey. But can I tell you something with you? The very fact that you're here tonight on the last day of 2018 with just a few more minutes left in this year is an indication that you are a survivor. And I wish you would shake a neighbor's hand and look him right in the eye and say, neighbor, I survived it. I survived the dark throne. I survived the winds. I survived the fire. I survived the floods. As a matter of fact, I've gone through the fire. I've been through the floods. I've seen lightning flashing from above. But I'm here tonight to let you know I'm holding on by faith. I want you to take a minute right there to give God praise, because you've been holding on by faith. I want you to take a moment and clap your hands because you survived it. I want you to thank God for yourself, that you could have quit, should have quit, would have quit, but you had something on the inside. You had the strength of your ancestors that said, though he slay me, yet will I trust in him. I want you to give yourselves a hand. You got to be some bad mama jammers. The very fact that you've been dealing with your president for 2 years is a reason enough for you to give God some praise. You should be crazy and insane by now. And so, as you climb the mountain, somebody shout, I'm climbing my mountain. Now somebody shout, somebody shout, I've got some internal issues. But my internal issues are not bigger than an almighty God. I said, God is bigger than your issues. God is bigger than your struggles. God is bigger than your insecurities. God is bigger than your insufficiencies. God is bigger than your lack. And tonight, can I be honest with you? I wish I could tell you that 19 won't have any more mountains. I wish I could tell you that the journey is complete in 18. I wish I could tell you that your hands won't get scarred, that there won't be any beast, that your hands won't get torn in 2019. I wish I could tell you that just if you snap your finger and name it and claim it, blab it and grab it, call it and haul it, that everything you've witnessed and spoken in the atmosphere is going to come to pass. But I'd be lying to you if I told you that. I wish I could tell you that just because you get a New Year's resolution, that by April everything that you wrote down is going to come to pass without work or a process. But I'd be lying if I told you that. But what I can tell you is this: he that hath begun a good work in you is more than able to fulfill it. Somebody shout, it's coming to pass. I said, somebody shout it with some Holy Ghost, it's coming to pass. Somebody shout again, I'm bigger than my issue. Somebody shout again, I've got faith that's big enough to help me climb every situation. I've got to close here tonight, but I'm so glad that all of us are on an upward trajectory. As a matter of fact, I'm pressing on the upward way. Old folks saying new heights I'm gaining every day. I'm still praying as I onward bound. Lord, plant my feet on higher ground. And Lord, lift me up and let me stand. Yes, Lord, by faith on heaven's tableland. I'm still praying as I onward bound. Lord, plant my feet on higher ground. I've got to close here now, but before I close, encourage somebody and say, neighbor, it's your mountain to climb. And can I tell y'all what happened when Peter and John and James got up to the mountain top? And the Lord gave them a revelation of who he really was. All I came to tell you is the journey is not supposed to necessarily reflect you, but the most important part of your journey is to show you who God is in your life. And what that means is this: some of you had a journey of sickness, but you were on that journey not because he wanted you to be sick, but because he needed to reveal who is a healer. Y'all ain't saying nothing to me. Some of you had some bills that you could not pay. The journey was not to depress you about your finances, but the journey was to show you who is Jehovah Jireh. And as I get ready to close, to bring in a brand new year, shake your neighbor's hand and say, neighbor, everything that you went through was to give you a better view of who God is. And that's why you all praising tonight, because now you know God is my deliverer. God is my healer. God is my sustainer. God is my protector. I say God is my way maker. God is my deliverer and my miracle worker. I'm getting ready to close, but can I testify for 1 minute? 3 years ago, on the same night, I told y'all how happy I was because my mama had come home from the hospital. December 31st, 2015, I closed by asking you to give God praise because my mama was looking good and doing well. I did not know, y'all not hearing me, that a few hours later, my mama was gonna die and didn't tell me she was leaving. 3 weeks later, my 50-year-old sister died. And over the past 3 years, I've almost lost my mind. I've gone through so much depression. But can I tell y'all what I understand now? For the last 3 years, I've been on a journey. But now I can preach like never before that God is able to keep you in your right mind. I want to say welcome to a brand new year. I want to say welcome to a brand new revelation. Shake your neighbor's hand and say, neighbor, you made it to 2019, and because you made it, that should let you know that now under him who's able to keep you from falling. Now give God praise, because if he took care of you in 18, he's going to show himself to you in 19. So you all give God the praise and say, weeping may endure for the night, but it's coming in the morning. Somebody say, I made it. Every head bow. Everybody on your knees. Lights out. Everybody on